Greater Ministries tells investors to hold on and keep the faith. But many start to wonder if they've been duped.
I thought, what am I going to do? What about all that money? I have a house payment. Uh-oh, what now? We'll just have to trust in the Lord, you know. And, well, I was hanging on with my fingernails, trusting in the Lord, but the money wasn't coming.
What's mostly sad is that these files represent, you know, broken dreams. That's what makes me mad. These are the depositions of Gerald Payne.
In 1999, Krebs takes up a case against Greater Ministries after an investor named Bill Smith suspects he has been defrauded.
If I can find one here.
Krebs discovers that Bill Smith is not alone.
These are names of people who were victimized in the state of Georgia. And we've just got the computer printouts on the lists of victims, and they're just thousands, tens of thousands of them. Main thing was shutting them down.
Yeah, that's right.
Greater Ministries has been operating a Ponzi scheme under the cloak of religion for 8 years. And now the money is running out, and investors like Smith are about to pay the price.
Well, these people know nothing but thieves. It was a scam that was particularly successful amongst a targeted group of people who wanted to believe it. And they were the sheep ready for shearing.
The religious fraud is probably the most insidious.
Krebs brings his case to Joe Borg, the director of the Alabama Securities Commission.
I've seen more money stolen in the name of God than any other way. It's the worst form of con artistry that you can imagine.
Yea, when the world is in chaos.
Borg says religious scams are so pervasive because the message comes from the pulpit.
But think about ministers and those that are in the religious order. These are the folks you look up to and trust.
Krebs and Borg start building their case, piece by piece.
After we were gathering as much information as we can, tons of bank records, trying to figure out where money was going, verifying that no, the church didn't own any cargo ships. They weren't engaged in foreign currency transaction, and we found no evidence of gold or silver or, you know, mines in Africa.
The pair concludes it was all a sham.
The only source of the revenues was from the investors.
But in Greater Ministries, there was no product. It was money going from the left hand to the right hand, to the next left hand, to the next right hand.
But for 8 years, Greater Ministries gets away with it because they argue that the cash was a gift to the church and not an investment.
But people forget that these are investments, and they are looking to get something back. You know, this is not a gift. Call it what you will, but if you're promised double your money in 17 months, you're getting a payment back.
And selling investments requires a license that Gerald Payne doesn't have.
They were breaking securities laws in my state.
The securities had to be licensed, and the persons who sold them had to be licensed.
As Alabama authorities build their civil case, IRS agent Angelo Troncoso is closing in on Greater Ministries back in Tampa. After a 4-year investigation, a grand jury hands down a 20-count indictment charging Gerald Payne and 6 church elders with conspiracy, money laundering, and mail fraud.
This is the residence of Gerald Payne.
On March 12, 1999, Angelo Troncoso moves in on Payne and his wife Betty as they leave their house.
They were arrested on that driveway. There was intelligence that we had that Mr. Payne always carried a weapon in his car and a weapon in his boot. We found no weapon on Mr. Payne. We found no weapon in the car. We did, however, find a .25 caliber pistol in Betty Payne's purse.
The church leaders are cuffed and booked, and word travels quickly to Barbara Catay, the legal advisor for Greater Ministries.
You can't raise that kind of money.